Hi, my name is Kim Park, and I am recording for you from my closet because it is the quietest place in the house. I'm the author of 4 books. I previously said 3, but it's 4. It's 4, it really is. 1 nonfiction called Courage to Birth, The Power of a Good Birth and How to Obtain It. 3 fiction, TJ and the Cunning Cantrip Competition, TJ and the Forbidden Tunnels, and my newest release is titled Golden Ghost Removal Service. That's available as an ebook on Amazon, and it is actually the prequel to TJ and the Cunning Cantrip Competition, which I'm going to continue reading from today. I have 2 previous videos where I started this book, and I'm going to pick up where I left off. We've learned that TJ is a 12-year-old witch who would love to go to the Grand Old House of Magic for summer school, but there are several schools that she could get placed in. One in particular she doesn't really want to go to, but there are 5 that would be good matches for her. But the one that she really wants to go to is the Grand Old House of Magic. She does have to take an interview to find out if she will get placed in that. And so we pick up there where she's going into the building to have her interview. A receptionist with a plastered white smile and flashing red fingernail polish greeted me. "Are you Tora Jane Golden?" she squeaked. "Yes," I gulped. "You're right on time. Please follow me." She led me to a large rectangular room with dark cherry wainscoting and a collection of photographs of famous witches and wizards lining the walls. She directed me to stand in the center of the room, a good 5 feet away from where the Magical Review Committee sat, in a single row behind a long table. The committee consisted of 5 representatives, the directors from each of the 5 most prestigious summer schools of witchcraft and wizardry in Westchester County. Thomas Bishop, an ancient wizard with big hair and bushy eyebrows, represented the go-home. Alan Galdine, a bald wizard who kept clicking his tongue against the roof of his mouth, represented MM. Evelyn Wright, a thin, pinched witch with an orange tabby cat curled at her feet, represented Nostradamus. Paula Patch, a plump witch with red-rimmed glasses and black spider earrings, represented HPP. And Maya Sitka, a young, dark-skinned queen of the Amazon type, wearing a feathered headdress, represented the village. The only summer school that was not represented was Dumfries. Not that I was interested in Dumfries. No respectable young witch or wizard wanted to attend Dumfries, the poop school. Dumfries is where you got dumped if you were rejected by the other 5. I stood before the committee, nervously gripping my sweaty fingers together and smiling as big as a Sunday pancake. The first question I received came from the Queen of the Amazon Witch, Maya Sitka. "So, you are Tora Jane Golden," she said. My voice shook as I answered, "Yes." "Daughter of Robert and Elizabeth Golden?" "Yes." Both Sitka and Wright narrowed their eyes condescendingly and angled their chins upward so that the hairy insides of their nostrils were exposed. By their expressions, I knew full well what they thought of me and my parents. They thought us low class, unworthy of their schools. My stomach began forming uncomfortable knots. It's true that my parents are not high up on the magic totem pole of life, nor financially favored, but they have made respectable names for themselves. My father has created a burgeoning business from the removal of pesky ghosts, and my mother is the one to go to if you need warts removed from your hands or feet, or if you've gotten a bit lax with mechanical repair spells and your washing machine goes kaflooey. The people of Westchester County rely on my parents to take care of their most embarrassing and urgent problems. My mother attended the Go Home, and my father attended MM, where they both graduated with honors. They were both asked to represent their schools at the Cunning Cantrip Competition. My mother made it to round 3, and my father made it to round 4, though neither of them made it to the final round, round 5, the Test of Champions, the round I planned to make it to. I looked down at my feet, away from Sitka and Wright, and then up again into the faces of the other panelists. Thomas Bishop sat stonily, revealing nothing, while Paula Patch and Alan Galdine smiled gently. Your mother gave a most informative talk on quick cures for common household quirks at our Witches' Round Table discussion this past month, offered Plump Patch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, and do tell your father, said Baldy Galdine, pausing every few syllables to click his tongue against the roof of his mouth, that the problem with my larder is all cleared up, thanks to him. Poltergeist problem? Asked Wright. Yes, said Galdine. The filthy pest was souring everything. Sniffed Wright, as she haughtily stroked her tabby cat. A little fairy dust could have cleared it up just as easy. I gulped. So, I didn't have the approval of Wright. That was okay. I didn't want to go to her school anyway. Too stiff and stuffy. At least I had Patch and Galdine on my side. They smiled at me apologetically. Now, if I could just get the approval of the one man in the room I revere the most, Thomas Bishop, I'd be set for life. To my delight, the next question came from him. Are you also good with ghosts, Miss Golden? He asked. I squinted and grinned. The truth was yes, but I didn't want to brag too much. I downplayed my response. Well, I did have the opportunity to help my father with an ice maker incident last month. You see, the poltergeist had wedged itself into the dispenser, and my hand was just small enough to fit through the chute and grab hold of him. He was a nasty little bugger. He bit my pinky finger. I still have a scar, see? I held my finger out for inspection. The panelists eyed it with reverence. Patch gave me a gracious nod. Galdine winked. The orange tabby cat, whose nameplate read Sunshine, purred, and even Bishop put his hands together for a quiet clap. He said. Well, I wish we had a poltergeist here for you to demonstrate on. But alas, we don't. So, we will have to make do without one. Let's get started. We will be asking you to perform 5 acts of magic for us today. And for your first act, we would like you to do a bit of summoning. Bishop picked up a straw basket and placed it on the table in front of him. The basket was full to the brim with balls of yarn. Red, green, gold, pink, blue, magenta. It held every color of the rainbow. The task here is to summon the orange ball of yarn, he said. He placed great emphasis on the word orange. Do you understand? I nodded, gulped, and crossed my fingers behind my back. Good. You may begin. I closed my eyes, focused on the basket. Find the orange ball, I repeated. The orange one. Where was it? Was it in one of the corners? I let my mind search the four corners of the basket. No, not there. Was it somewhere in the middle? I pushed my thoughts toward the middle of the basket. No, not there either. I widened my search circumference. I could see the black, the yellow, the purple, and the blue ball of yarn. I could make out a lime green one, a gray one, and a teal ball of yarn. I could see a silver one and a brown one, but where was that orange ball of yarn? I furrowed my brow, lowered my chin, and squeezed my eyes tight, so tight that little tears drained from the edges. But still, I couldn't find it. And orange, of all colors, should stand out. Suddenly, it occurred to me that this might be a trick question. Maybe the orange ball of yarn wasn't in the basket. Maybe this was a think outside the basket problem. Keeping my eyes closed, I let my mind wander through the room. At last, I sensed it around the ankles of one of the panelists. Without opening my eyes, I thrust my hands forward and summoned the orange ball of yarn to me. I heard a screeching and a howling, a piercing cry that gave me instant goosebumps. My eyes flashed open in time to see the big, fat, orange tabby cat hurling toward me like a bat, its paws stretched wide, claws furled, mouth open, tail taut. Oof! The cat made impact, and we both fell hard to the ground. The angry feline sprang to its feet atop my chest, bellowing loudly. It dug its claws into my dress and hissed, spit flying. Its nails pierced my skin. Ow! I howled. Get off! I tried to loosen her, but she stood her ground and clung too. Oh dear! Oh my! Yelped Wright, scurrying around the table. No, Sunshine, just calm down. Everything's going to be all right. She put her hand underneath the bulging beast's belly and pulled. The cat's claws, which were still attached to my dress, dragged the fabric upwards, stretching it so wide I started to lift off the floor. Goodness, said Wright, frowning in consternation. Why won't you let go, Sunshine? Maybe she likes me, I kidded, but no one laughed. It took several minutes, but finally the roly-poly cat and I were separated. Clumsily, I got to my feet. I'm so sorry about that, I stammered as I made a lame attempt to straighten my misshapen dress. I thought she was the orange ball of yarn. Bishop frowned, reached into the middle of the basket, and pulled out the orange ball of yarn. The orange ball of yarn was in the basket, he clucked. Ah, how embarrassing. But at least I summoned something orange, I grinned sheepishly. Perhaps I could get credit for that? My voice rose nervously at the end of my plea. I sounded pathetic, even to my own ears. Bishop puckered his brow and petulantly picked up his pen. For several minutes I stood there, bleeding and feeling miserably uneasy. I watched the committee members scribble and scrawl on their clipboards. I couldn't help wondering what they were writing. Was it bad? Really bad? I pressed my hands against my chest to numb the pain of the cat scratches and waited for the next question. I'll stop there and continue next time. Thank you for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this reading, and please subscribe. Thank you.